Hello, it's 5:30 in the morning. I'm meant to be working on a dissertation. This is a very unfortunate first frame of the trailer. Let's not beat around the bush. Y'all know what's going on. Let's just go straight into it and watch this trailer and then react to it. And then I should go back into my dissertation, which is the reason why I'm awake right now.
Ever since I got bit by that spider, I've only had 1 week where my life has felt normal. That was when you found out.
When you botched that spell where you wanted everyone to forget the Peter Parker Spider-Man, we started getting some visitors. From every universe.
Hello, Peter. You're not Peter Parker.
I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Dr. Otto Octavius.
Wait, no, seriously, what's your actual name?
There are others out there. We need to send them back. So, Scooby-Doo this crap.
You know, all this is kind of your mess. I know a couple of magic words myself, starting with the word please.
Please, Scooby-Doo this crap.
You're flying out into the darkness to fight ghosts.
What do you mean?
They all die fighting Spider-Man. It's their fate. I'm sorry, kid.
Yeah, me too.
Don't.
Look, there has to be another way.
There isn't. They're a danger to our universe.
You're not gonna take this away from me. Peter, you're struggling to have everything you want while the world tries to make you choose.
This is all my fault. I can't save everyone. What's happening?
They're starting to come through, and I can't stop them.
December 17th, exclusively in movie theaters. Tickets on sale November 29th. Spider Monday.
Spider Monday, using our made-up names. Okay, wow, there's a we have to scrub through this. There is a lot of detail in this trailer. Gosh, I have a dissertation to do. My supervisor's not going to be happy with me. Anyway, okie dokie, so. Yeah, the dialogues are just that one.
Ever since I got bit by that spider,
Right, yeah, so we start with the whole melancholy part of it. And again, more clips of what I assume happened straight after
I've only
the
had
last
1
part.
week where my life has felt normal. That was when you found out.
That facial expression is funny. But I guess it's because the way his composites is on.
When you botched that spell where you wanted everyone to forget the Peter Parker Spider-Man,
Okay, so the good thing about this part here is it implies that because it was botched everyone hasn't forgotten who he is, which is good because I think it's, I don't know. I mean, the consequences that establish of everyone forgetting who Peter Parker is seems significant enough that it's not like, you know, a very casual, easily reset button to the end of the last movie. It's, you know, a major threat with major consequences to fix kind of deal, and that is a nice kind of reason to, that it gives you the right stakes to go into that. However, you know, it was the dynamic between him and Ned and Happy and May and MJ, all knowing who he is. I would have been very sad if that all got erased and you know, not resolved by the end of the movie kind of deal, or like I don't know. I really hate lost memory kind of plot lines and everything, just because of a personal. One of my biggest fears is losing part of my memories, because memories, I think, make up a lot of who I am. So part of me is relieved, but the implication here is that people can still remember. And the implication later when we see all the characters interact with Peter, not Spider-Man, about what's going on, would seem to, you know, suggest that they do recall, or at least, if they don't recall, they get told what's happening.
Started getting some visitors.
And then we get the explicit I mean, it was explicit in, I guess, some promotional stuff, like explicit in-universe dialogue from this. Well, I guess it was actually mentioned in the last trailer, wasn't it? But, you know, these are visitors from another universe, and I don't know, it's so exciting to get together MCU verbal confirmation about the Raimiverse, because it's the Raimiverse. And then we see the shot of the Goblin bomb and that laugh.
From every...
And then we see what I assume is the first appearance of the Goblin, possibly of one of the appearances, or maybe one of the final appearances, I don't know actually. But, you know, what's, I guess, significant here is that this is the same set piece, clearly, that we see Dr. Octopus in. So, I mean, did they all like appear at the same thing? Oh, excuse me. These two appear at this thing, considering from the same universe. Is this an earlier fight or is this a later fight? It's hard to really tell because trailers do a good job misleading you here.
Universe.
And here we see Electro shooting yellow bolts rather than the blue bolts from The Amazing Spider-Man. And we see Spider-Man in his new kind of black. What I assume is kind of, I don't know, I want to say arcane, probably the wrong word, but clearly a suit designed to channel, from what we see Higgin, no, not in the next shot, but in the next shot, the mystical powers. And here we see, it's quite a foreboding shot of, you know, the claws pulling down cars and then finally pulling themselves up. And then the shot we saw last time.
Hello, Peter. You're not Peter Parker.
And then isn't that an interesting dialogue? So, first acknowledgement we get of in the MCU at least, of other Peter Parkers, which, you know, even if we don't get an appearance from Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, which, you know, is still, I guess, one of the best kept secrets, because everyone's like, oh, it's the worst kept secret. We all know it's gonna happen. That's what we're gonna see, but really we don't. Like, we literally don't. It could just be we've all assumed it's gonna happen, that we're actually shocked when it doesn't, and disappointed. And, you know, they were being honest the whole time. You were telling the truth the whole time. You'd be surprised how often that happens. Quote. But if we at least get kind of like explicit references to those films. Oh, I don't know. Is that like tempted too close? Is that like flying too close to the sun? We're not giving us quite what we want. If we get a photo or like flashbacks, but like this is a very, very close kind of verbal reference because he's saying, "Well, you're not Peter Parker because you don't look the same." Which again is, I guess, he confirming that appearances matter. Like the fact that they look different is confirmation that they're not actually the same Peter Parker. Like it's not just an actor thing. Like, you know, the fact that this looks like the Dr. Octavius from the Raimi films means he is the Dr. Octavius from the Raimi films. The appearance of the actor is relevant to what the actual appearance is. It's not like a recasting thing where it's a meta kind of attribution. Yeah. I can't remember if there are red accents on the... I don't remember there being red accents on the tentacles of... or robotic arms of Dr. Octopus in the Raimi films. I don't know if that's just an, you know, aesthetic upgrade or if there's going to be a reason behind that. I mean, he was also not wearing the same clothes, I don't think, that we see him dying. Because I think he was wearing, a vest, and his black kind of brownish jacket rather than a turtleneck and a green coat. So that's interesting. I wonder if I can explain why his appearance is, his clothing is at least different. Of a bit, I don't know, maybe he gets changed before he attacks this part of the city. It's like, you know, does he realize he's in an alternate universe? Does he think he's in the same universe? Because he seems to think he expects his own Peter Parker. And also, it's great to see more shots of Alfred Molina because we get quite a few. ASM A8189, Amazing Spider-Man, and probably some reference to a comic. And it's also true that he says he's attacking him because he seems to have memories of his own universe, but actually maybe there's a reason for that explained shortly later on.
I'm sorry, what was your name again?
So, you know, this is clearly after this has all happened and everyone knows who he is, so...
Dr. Otto Octavius.
Yeah, again, there's red accents to the claw for some reason. And I like the fact they're making fun of his name. It's very on brand for this universe, if not a bit done at this point.
Hey, no, seriously, what's your actual name?
I mean, yeah. I don't remember him having these metal strips in his belly in the Raimi films, but it's a reference, I suppose, to how he looks in the comics. This, I think, is probably the final set piece. You know, it looks like it's designed to be that.
There are others out there. We need to send them back.
Yeah, so we see that his suit is able to generate the sorcery.
So,
And then obviously there's Electro at the back, who is shooting yellow beams but glowing blue.
Scooby-Doo this crap.
The Scooby-Doo line's funny.
You know, all this is kind of your mess. I know a couple of magic words myself, starting with the word please.
That's just great. We love Zendaya in this role of MJ. She's fantastic and probably my favourite. Even if she's not a strict translation of the character.
Please, Scooby-Doo this crap.
And the fact that he listens to it well is great. The Bugle Van made the appearance of Sandman and Electro together. Well, not assuming it's almost certainly that. And the shot is very reminiscent of the style of the TASM films. Also, especially because obviously this is, Sandman is from the last Raimi film, but Electro is from the last Tarzan film, and they was teaming up here. And it's great that we're actually going to see J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah, J. Jonah Jameson. Jonah J. Jameson. Why am I forgetting what his name is? But he's actually he was just coming in the last film. He's gonna have a physical presence because it's always great to see J.K. Simmons on screen, and especially it's great to see him as his character. And you instantly know he's like, oh, Spider-Man in this scene, and the whole kind of disgust and venom on his face.
Flying out into the darkness.
That voice doesn't seem immediately recognizable to me, but it does end with... Well, we'll talk about where it ends, actually. Whoops.
You're flying out into the dark.
So you see Electro, you see the sound particles.
To fight ghosts.
Oh, sorry, I was thinking another line.
What do you mean?
They all die fighting Spider-Man.
So that's an interesting line. They all die. Future tense, fighting Spider-Man. So maybe these. So there's a question of how is some of these characters back since we see them die, but it seems to imply they're being ripped out of their own universe before their deaths, not actually afterwards. So, like, that would explain why he is fighting Spider-Man. This is pre-redeemed Dr. Octopus, pre-redeemed Otto before Maguire's Spider-Man gets him to save and about his plan. So he's being ripped off at some point during that, which might also explain why his costume is different. And it means we get all these people get to be bad when some of them are actually redeemed, and it explains why he comes out, guns fighting, because the last thing he's obviously crazy, and the last thing he remembers is that he's Spider-Man's his enemy. I wonder if then his whole motivation is to get back to his own world makes sense because he wants to finish his work. But then if he finds out that by going back to his own world he dies, he's obviously not going to be fond of that idea. And I guess if they all find out that this is the chance to change history, well, none of them are sane enough to really care about the consequences.
It's their fate.
Is that how it exploded in the Raimi films? I didn't remember there being a green glow. And this is obviously the aftermath of that attack, but interestingly, there's a green glow. So it's. I like how every end film of a Spider-Man has always been criticized for having too many parts to it, too many villains to it. This looks like it's doing exactly the same, and yet no one is criticizing it for it. And I think it's maybe either trust in Marvel or just excitement and nostalgia-gasms we're gonna get.
I'm sorry, kid.
Yeah, me too.
Don't.
I guess this is
I'm sorry, kid.
confirmation that it either didn't work or they find out again who he is because he's clearly in a Spider-Man costume and they're right here, which is great.
Yeah, me too.
Don't.
And then he nicks this thing, which I don't actually know what it does, and that's something I'm probably the most curious about because clearly it has something to do with. So what seems to be going ahead is his motivations is not only to fix the multiverse. Hey Lily. Not only is he here to fix the multiverse, but he also doesn't want all these people to die, maybe because he realizes that a lot of them are actually fairly misguided. Well, certainly, a lot of the villains here are actually misguided. Osborn was crazy by the gas, and ultimately kind of apologized for his death. And none of them he wanted to kill. And maybe he's feeling guilty of Beck's death. Otto Octavius obviously was very misguided and a tragic villain. Sandman doesn't actually die. Sandman die. He's actually the only one who survives. So maybe, you know, what's his motivation? Well, he doesn't know that, I guess. But well, and Venom doesn't appear in this probably for various reasons. Is Venom the only villain who doesn't appear in this? Possibly. Well, that'll be interesting. Venom, but yeah, the Lizard obviously dies, but you know, again, he was he lost his sanity, and Electro, obviously, it wasn't a bad guy. He just again lost. They all kind of lost their sanity. So Clavis box. I know maybe it's a way of sending them back, but to like places where they don't die, or like splintering them off or something. Splintering them off is a good theory of it, as I might go into. And then clearly there's some like combat from Stephen Strange that seems to be against Spider-Man. So it's like, well, why is that? Is there a conflict of interest in plans? Is this actually Sorcerer Supreme from the What If series? A lot of people have theories around that. I mean, he looks fairly complexion-wise fine, but obviously could be completely CGI, you know, disguising that. And actually, in reality, he has the more demonic appearances that we get in the What If series. Like, does this end up bringing his own enemies into the show as well, or is this just him simply, you know? I mean, this could be this could simply be a earlier part where there's a bit more character conflict and they're trying to hash out differences between their plans, and obviously we have this little superhero fight.
There isn't.
Well, clearly, you know, his line here is about there being, you know, another way implies that they have a different conflict of interest in the plans. Lily, stop. I don't know where to put this windshield for my microphone where Lily doesn't feel the need to play with it. I guess I have to put it underneath here. Anyway, there we see Aunt May running.
They're a danger to our universe.
And again, look, the red accents on the but that level of red accenting definitely wasn't on the thing. They also show a lot of the fight scenes from this particular place, so it's not really much. I don't know, his discussion scenes in the in Doctor Strange's place, but very little else. So it's curious to know what his actual involvement is otherwise.
You're not gonna take this away from me.
And then there's a very CGI looking Jamie Bell. Hopefully that's not a finished shot. But this is okay. So he has that box thing. So we've got to wonder what the box is for. That Statue of Liberty, I assume being repaired for whatever reason. The interesting thing is the scaffolding. So we know what is probably the finale of this scene is also Jamie Foxx's costume is different. He's not blue, but we all knew that. Andrew Garfield apparently leaked footage, which I've not seen except for pictures of, happens on scaffolding. It looks a lot like this. You're
struggling.
So that I think is William Dafoe as a Goblin, but it does sound a bit off. But obviously it's been 20 years since he played the role, so I guess he is much older now. So,
Damn everything you want.
Yeah, that does sound like him. It's a bit older, but this is the first kind of close appearance of the character because his appearance in the poster is very small. That's definitely the Raimi Goblin. Like, there's no doubts about that. But that looks more like the Tasm Goblin. Or maybe not actually. Maybe that's the James Franco Goblin. Well, these bladed things look a lot like... Or, no, that's William Dafoe without his helmet on. I mean, I can see a face, so I'm like, oh, maybe this isn't the Green Goblin. But actually, the armor looks bulky. We know the armor looks bulky in a way which maybe makes me think Tasm Goblin. But the face looks healthy in a way which makes me think not Tasm Goblin. So then I'm like, well, is it the new Goblin? But he just wore like a black. But yeah, it doesn't look like James Franco. So maybe it's just simply William Dafoe about his helmet, which would be amazing to see actually, and I'm very down for that. So who is Goblin? And the voiceovers seem to play that way, but it's hard to tell from this shot. But I actually looking at the very blurry, absolutely undetailed shot here, it does look more like William Dafoe's face shape, with glasses on. But I don't know if we can really tell you what to tell.
Have everything you want while
I'd say it looks more like William Dafoe. I know I'm looking at what is essentially two coloured blurs, but
tries to make you choose.
and that's obviously like a reversal of the whole spell thing. Possibly a spoiler, or it's unclear if it succeeds or not. So yeah, again, on the scaffolding, we see the lizard. So the lizard's confirmed, and that looks very much like the Tasm lizard. With the same style, the same kind of flat snout, so it's confirmation we're getting a Tasm kind of crossover here. There's a face in the sand. It doesn't really look like the same Sandman, but it might just be... Oh, actually, no, it does. It does.
This is all my fault. I can't save everyone.
And so I think the motivation is just trying to like not kill the bad guys because he feels guilty. That thing is being dropped. I don't know what it is. Is that part of Statue of Liberty, or is it something that they're trying to remove from the Statue of Liberty? And then, oh, we get the whole love interest of Spider-Man falls from a distance. Are we going to go the MJ route? Does he save her? Are we going to go the Gwen route? Does he break her neck? Clearly, that's the threat here. I like how we're basically getting 3 different interpretations of this moment from the comic book. But I guess it's one of the most famous Spider-Man moments in the comic book, so why not?
Happening.
They're starting to come through, and I can't stop them.
That's an interesting way to end, because usually they end on like something that's like not already established in the scheme of the trailer, or like a comedic scene or whatever. But it seems so it seems to imply that maybe there is more happening even after resolve the Spider-Man issues. But yeah, December 17th, exactly 4 weeks time. I don't know if that's UK or a US release date or both, but God, am I like excited. So yeah, I've got to go back and work my dissertation, which I'm supposed to do for the last half an hour and not do this. But this is a very promising trailer. I'm not feeling like they're backing down on either promises or expectations fans have built up. But we're gonna have to wait and see. I mean, I think now this is the next film on the slate, and the Eternals and stuff, which I still need to see. We're going to get a lot of TV spot style trailers, which might eventually reveal some few details, but it's probably less I'm going to react to. So yeah, let me know what you think. I'll go back with my dissertation. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.